Thank you.
It has knowledge that is especially appreciated by the Paramahamsas. We discussed way back 111, I believe. Paramahamsam, remember 111? It is Nirmat Saranam Satam. It is for those Satam. Satam means pure devotee, Paramahamsam. Nirmat Saranam, they have no envy. They have Nirmat Saranam, they have no envy. So, when carefully studied, heard, and understood again and again, it opens the door to pure devotion, through which one never returns to the bondage of illusion. So, can you imagine this is the power of Bhagavatam? This is Sutta Goswami speaking, 12, 13, 18. And it's so powerful that, practically speaking, it's going to break you free from the bondage of the samsara. This is the power of Bhagavatam. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyantimidam Dasya Gyananjana Sadakaya Chakshuritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Shitya Manobhishtam Stapitam Bhutaye Bhutale Samad. I got lost. Okay, so where are we? Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamanam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Samjivam Sadvetam Savatutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanshane Gurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshvari Lishabhanu Sute Devi Panamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhyaya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanand Shri Advaita Gadadha Shiva Sadigaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram. Okay, so Swagatam, Suswagatam. Do you have any recollection from this last class?
From 10 to 15, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so in chapter 10, we started with, we are still on the change of heart. And then you said, Vishwanath Thakur said this chapter is worship to demigod, which is indeed, it is a worship to demigod chapter. But I think I'm not in that stage of thinking of change of heart yet, but worship is always there. Okay, so here we were talking about anything that we do should be dovetailed to Krishna's bhakti. So anything we are doing, the Krishna has to be in the middle, right? And then there were two types of desires, like desire, the fruitive desire, the desire that wants fruitive action, and the one that don't want fruitive action. And we talked about anyat. They are the others that have fallen into the forbidden actions. And then we talked about the prescribed duties and how Krishna talked to Arjuna, or or like if he doesn't do his prescribed duties, he might go to hell, and there's no other way. Uh, so that's what Arjuna did, right? Listening to Krishna. And for those who are do for forbidden action, it's anyat, right? And anyat. And devotees that perform prescribed duties are shunned away from the forbidden action. He does not um, aspire for for fruits. He does not go to hell. And then
Yeah, so
eh,
let me perhaps clarify a little bit. Uh, what you are referring to, it's Sridhar Swami,
yeah.
quoted by Jiv Goswami, in regard to a shlok from the third canto that explains how the devotee avoids the pitfalls. Because let's say you are pious, so you're going to partake of the karma kand because you are very fruitive. But let's say you are pious, you're not a rotten person, you are not a papi, you're
Mhm.
very Vedic, you are pious but fruitive. So you're going to partake of the karma kand, and hence you will be promoted to, in due course of time, not right away, you will be promoted to Svagalok. Now,
Yeah.
those who are adharmic, impious, obviously, we know, forbidden activities, vikarma, ugra karma, they go to hell. So now the devotees, because of those two proclivities, number one is not fruitive. So because he's not fruitive, he doesn't go to Svarga. Because Svarga are meant for those who are fruitive, dharmically, Vedically, they are pious. The devotees is not fruitive, so he avoids Svargalok. And number two, we know, he doesn't indulge into forbidden activities. Hence, he also avoids hell. So at the end of the
Mm.
day, it's 418 Gita, because he one who sees inaction in action. Devotees is like that, is very, very active, but in reality is inactive. Why? Why is he inactive?
Devotees. Uh,
Exactly. Arinishta is there in the background and on WhatsApp. She's saying it's karma free because it's a karma. Why? Because he acts for Krishna. So he doesn't, he's inactive in the true sense of the term, even though he's doing things all day. So that was the point of Shidas for me. Uh, okay, carry on, Puna Chandra or Arinishta, as you
oh,
wish.
okay, I'll do a little bit, then she can do. And then we talked about the only way to worship the demigod is by attaining the association for the sake of attaining Krishna consciousness and not separately from Krishna like Maharaj Bharat, right? We talked about Maharaj Bharat, how he never considered demigods as
Yeah,
separated from Krishna, and
yeah,
he considered they were the part and parcel of Krishna, and he attained the bhava bhakti in the end.
yeah.
And now,
That's the point of Jiva Goswami. And that's the only way to reconcile demigod worship. Uh,
okay,
Even
and
though
worship,
we know from Gita it's avidi. Avidi means against the rule. In one sense, it means illegal. Illegal because most of the people, 412, remember, they want a quick fix in life. So they say, oh, I'm going to worship demigods so I can get a quick fix, a quick catch. They know Krishna takes, actually in South India, they don't like to worship Krishna because Krishna takes away things. It's a fact.
yes,
So, and Krishna is going to extract purification of the heart. See, demigods will not do that for you. Krishna knows better where you at. So he's going to extract purification of your heart so that you can go back to the spiritual world. So that is why Jiv Goswami, he explained, in one sense, Since we know we need association of devotees, but we should not exclude the demigods because they are also somewhat devotees. Vibhutimat Sattvat, they are agents of the material affairs. So that's the point of Jiva Goswami. And we discussed in the first canto, remember Sutta Goswami says, or Shonaka perhaps, we should invite Yamaraj to our kirtan. Remember, there was a verse like this.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
invite Yamaraj to your bhajan, to your kirtan, then he's going to spare you at the time of death. Because he knows this person invited me for kirtan. Why should I kill him? So they are devotees at heart. Of course, there's 8 types of demigods, we know. But at least the primary demigods are very good devotees. Yamaraj, Indradev, what to speak of Lord Shiv. So that's the point of Jiv Goswami. We can also benefit of their association, provided we approach them as demigods, not as separatists, not as separated. Binadrik means separatist. The problem with demigod worship, that is why Krishna is so heavy in the Gita. He says, Avidi Purvakam. They have Rita Gyan, little Gyan, Antavat Medasa. They have very little knowledge. They don't have good brains. He's so heavy because he knows most of the worshippers, they approach Krishna, devotees, as separated from Krishna. So they basically that's avidi, that's illegal, and practically they're going to go down. So anyway, carry on if you have anything more to.
Okay, so we talked about the worshippers of demigod, that what you said about right now.
Yeah,
And then we talked about the gopis and Katyani Devi, like those they worship Krishna to get good husbands and everything. And Rukmani, we talked about Rukmani, how she worships Surya, Lord Surya, so that Krishna can come and kidnap her.
yeah.
Yeah, because and we talked about Kama worship to Krishna um, and why Krishna extracts purification from your heart when you are worship him. Whereas demigods, they do not do that. You just talked about that. And Upsana Kandis are better than Karma
Oh
Kandis.
yeah. Kamakan, Gyanakan, Upasan. Upasan to Upasate. Upasan means to worship.
Yeah.
Upasana Kandis.
Talked about Ganesh and Shiva
Yeah.
and and then we talked about Narad, like how Narad Muni saw his father, like Brahma, and he said, "Who is he meditating on?" Right? Like because he thought he is God himself, right?
Yeah.
And then he found out that he was meditating on Narayan, God
Exactly.
Narayan. And then we talked about our karma, Purusha, Param, Gopi, no desire. They don't have any desires. And any Parusham Apara. We talked about that Parusham Apara. That text 9 was for Paramatma, and then the text 10 for Purusham Apara was
Purusha Param, it's 10
Purush.
basically, yeah?
Yeah, one was Paramatma, and the second one is Param Purush.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, and then what did we, Narada? Okay, the son, Nista wants to say something.
Are you there, Anishta?
She there?
But her voice is very faint. Huh?
Okay. And then you talked about the twofold, no, the twofold, so the worship of, oh, then we talked about the worship of Archa Vigraha, like the three bena, meaning that laser thing. And
Oh
if
yeah,
you,
that's 10. That's 10. Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. Uh,
yeah,
Tivrena means extremely focused, like a laser beam.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so
So
focus.
in other
And
words, go ahead if you unless
and
you finish.
if you're bhakti, if your bhakti is focused, you will be purified. Krishna will extract the love out of your heart.
Exactly.
And moksha kam, we talked about is it moksha kam?
Yeah.
Desire to get liberation. And Sukadev said he's finding fault with the guy's material
Actually,
desire.
it's Vishwanath to say that. He's finding fault with them. It's quite heavy. Remember what he
Oh,
says?
okay, that was Vishwanath.
Yeah. Of course, Shukdev may also find fault, but I remember I quoted Vishwanath. Vishwanath is very heavy with them.
Okay, okay, so okay.
What does he
And
say in essence?
or in the essence, okay, Vishwanath is finding fault with the guise of material desire who wants liberation. Person is liberation is more people. Person in liberation is more desirous than the jnanis. So they said if even if a person is so high up in bhakti, they are more desirous. And
Yeah, let me get it right because we don't want to misunderstand. So let me recap what Vishwanath says about the moksha kami. He puts them very, he's quite decrying them. We have to, it sounds a bit unheard of. What happened? He puts them even worse than the kami, than the savakami. Why is that?
oh yeah, I think
Is is quite heavy, if you ask me. Why is he so heavily bashing on them? Yes, Arishta? Exactly. See, Punal Chandra Alinishta is saying that actually it's very subtle. uh, and in one sense, it's more deeply rooted. So, Vishwanath, let me rephrase it for you. In order to cut down people's thoughts that they are without desire. See, many people out there believe that the Gyanis are desireless, which is nonsense.
okay.
So, in order to cut that down heavily, that thought, because they want liberation, on the very fact that they want liberation implies that they are not desireless. They have something in mind. They have an axe to grind. And the Chaitanya Charitamrita explains, Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakali Ashant. They are not shant. They are ashant. The bhukti, the mukti, the siddhi, the kami. Unless only the devotee Krishna Bhakta Nishkam Ataiva Shant. Only the Krishna Bhakta Nishkam is Shant. Even the Moksha Kami is Ashant. Ashant means it's not peaceful. See, we have to understand it's very deeply rooted. Rup Goswami explained Pisashi Ridivartate, Bhukti and Mukti, those two. Pisachi Ridivartate. As long he compares them to Pisachi. Can you imagine what is a Pisachi? Pisachi means a witch. Rup Goswami explained Tavad Bhakti Sukhasyatra. How do you want Bhakti Sukh to enter the heart if those two witches are in the heart? Bhukti Mukti, they remain in the heart. Tavad Bhakti Sukhasyatra. How do you want Bhakti Sukh to enter? Those two witches are already sucking you. This is the point. Abhyudayo Dayet. How do you want anything to awaken in your heart towards Bhakti Sukh if you are infested with Bhukti and Mukti? That is why Vishwanath is so heavy. And he says, a moksha kami is even more filled with desire than the person desiring material comforts. Because, see, kam means a desire to destroy suffering and attain happiness. They're very much into, let me enjoy. They even willing to forego enjoyment now for the sake of enjoying more later. So they want to destroy suffering at all cost. That is why if a devotee wants to destroy suffering, it means he has a leaning towards impersonalism. We're not here to destroy suffering. We are here to please Krishna. So Vishwanath is explaining that the desires of the karmi are stronger. Sorry, the desires of the jnani are stronger than the karmi because they're so concerned with destroying the suffering of their samsara. They are very much anxious to enjoy Brahmanand, the pleasure of Brahman. So it's quite heavy. It's putting them in a lower pedestal than the Sarvakami. But the devotees, they know better because they want to give happiness to Krishna. So that's why they are Nishkam. Anything else, Punachandra or Harinishta?
Okay. So I had the first mush.
Yes,
So it's
Harinishta? Uh-huh. Yeah, I think you are. Let me check. Let me check. Uh, oh, yeah. No, you're not. Go ahead. Go ahead, Harinishta. You can speak now. Yeah, it's not very clear, but I can translate for Purnachandra. Okay. So you want to carry on, Purnachandra Mataji? You
okay.
recap or you all set?
All right, all right. I got a little bit more here, and then in text 11 we talked about the sadhu sangha, and then you cannot value the pure devotees association by any means, like, and and then they talked about what if you worship the demigod and then you want to have association with them too. Jiva Goswami put some of his commentary there too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then we talked about Shiva and Ganesh. They were more in transcendental knowledge with Krishna consciousness than us, and they are demigods. So we should not just think them as nothing, but they are demigods. They are devotees, and bigger devotees than us.
Yeah.
And then we talked about Indradev and Vikrasur, Vitrasur.
Vitrasu in the sixth canto, yeah.
Yeah, and then how he killed Vishwarup, and then he was a Brahmin, and then when he went to the battle, and they were doing Krishna Katha even in the battle, right? Because
Yeah,
he did not
exactly.
want to kill Vritrasur because he thought, oh, I'm gonna get so much of um, whatever sin, right? So he did not kill Vritrasur,
It's
right?
called Brahmahitya. It's killing of a Brahmin. Vitrasu was
Yeah,
a Rakshas, but be careful, he's a Brahmin, just like Ravan. Ravan is a Rakshas, but he's a Brahmin.
yeah,
So there's great,
and
great
and then
Brahmahatya.
yeah, Brahmatriya. And then they also talk about how Parikshit Maharaj, like he had left his body before he actually died. So
Yeah,
then,
same with Vitrasu,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, just like that. So we have to regard demigods are also devotees too. At no point we cannot think that they are not devotees. And then we talked about the six loving exchanges of the Lord and Kavelya Bhakti, Kavelya Pantha, and first
Oh
class
yeah,
devotees.
that's 11. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, 11, and the principles of
Or
bhakti
perhaps,
in
no, sorry, it's 12. Kevalia
yeah,
Panta. Yeah.
and then we talked about um the pinnacle of bhakti, that was Yukta Vairagya, and
Yeah.
and even Prabhupada talked about so much about Yukta Vairagya, even in Bhagavad Gita too. I think we learned it, right?
Even in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu as well.
Yeah, and the and then we talked about distributing books are better than going and sitting in a holy place in the forest or
Exactly,
something.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, and that opens the door, like the door of spiritual door is open wide for us then, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Moksha
and
Dwaram. It's called Moksha Dwar,
Moksha
the
Dwar.
door of liberation. Moksha Dwaram Apavritaha. If you serve the sadhus, what to speak if you engage in Sankirtan Yagya, Yagya Sankirtan prayer, Yajanti Hi Sumeda Saha. You're very intelligent. Sumeda means very, very intelligent.
Okay, and I think in the very end we talked about Shaunaka Rishi, like how he's always propelling um, this in Tisuka Goswami, like for the next things, like as one topic is almost ending, then he puts into another batch of things like what is next in the whole
Exactly.
Bhagavad.
You have a good recollection. And from 13, we are entering a different, I would say, a scene, different stage. Huh? Shunaka again is going to pick up the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So this is very interesting. He's the one who is urging Shukadev to speak more. Krishna Katha, Machita Magata Prana, Buddhayanta Parashparam. Parashparam means one another. Krishna Katha is one another.
Yes. And then
Okay.
we
Yes.
go down, and then we were talking about Shushrutam,
Shu
Shushrutam.
Shru Shu Shashadaranam. Which one you?
Yeah, and then it's
Oh
our
yeah, in
eagerness to
14, Shu
hear.
Shru Shatam. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's eagerness to hear. So it's very important for us to hear the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam to
Hmm.
get liberated. And then they put a Parikshit Maharaj, a childhood life and his life stories there too. And and then we also hear that Uddhava, he was doing the same thing too. In childhood, he was playing
Oh
with the
yeah.
deities and
Uddhav,
everything.
Parikshit Maharaj. They are great
Yeah,
souls. Jeev Goswami also when he was a kid.
yeah.
They are all absorbed, steeped into Krishna consciousness.
And then we talked about the unsuccessful yogi in 641. Uh, uh, so, and I think that's it for me.
Okay, you did a good job. You have a very good recap, huh? You're quite thorough. Okay, so let's move on and we'll look at the homework as we move along. So
Okay.
16. Veya Sakischa Bhagwan Vasudev Parayanaha Urugaya Gunodhara Satam Syuhi Samagame.
Samagame, okay. Sukadev Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, was also full of transcendental knowledge and was a great devotee of Lord Krishna, son of Vasudeva. So there must have been discussions of Lord Krishna, who is glorified by the great philosophers in the company of great devotees.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you can say a few words, or even Alinshta, but I don't know if you can manage.
Okay, I can say. Does she want to say, or should I say? It's my thing.
Are you on the page, Alinshta?
Yeah. Okay. So here, look at.
We are into 16, yeah, 316.
Yeah, but I don't have access to the.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Okay. So in 16, we are starting with Sukadev Goswami. They're just verifying that he's son of Vyasadev, and then Krishna, son of Vasudev, and Satam, which is pure devotee. They don't have any desire, only to please the Lord. Only with the devotees, transcendental glories of Lord are discussed. Topics are full of spiritual significance. Once properly heard in association with pure devotees, satam. So anytime we want to hear anything about the Lord, it should be in association with pure devotees.
Yeah. Sadhu
And
Sangha Satvabari, we should, as possible, associate with more advanced devotees. Yeah.
yeah, and one senses potency and automatically attains devotional service stage of life. And Maharaj Parikshit, he was a king of the same level, and Sukadeva Goswami, they were on the same level. That was a question too.
Exactly. Yeah. It's called Vyasaki. Vyasaki means Shukdev. Huh? Is one of the 12 Mahajan. Huh? Remember?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Vaisaki, there's a devotee in Iskan, Vaisaki Prabhu. Huh? It means Shukdev.
Oh, okay. And then Sukadev Goswami, even he did not care. He did not clothe himself. He was always naked, and both were unalloyed devotees. Both
Yeah.
together in bhakti yoga and topic of the Lord. And the
Exactly.
Lord,
Huh?
yeah, and the Lord and Arjuna too. They were always into the topic of bhakti yoga too.
Yeah.
Um,
So it says here Satam. Huh? Satam,
yeah.
325:25. Huh? Remember Kapil. Satam prasangam mama virya samvido ritkanakrit rasayana kataha tajoshanat ajvapavagavatmani shraddha bhaktir krami shraddha bhaktir ratir anukrami shyati.
Mm.
This is Lord Kapil, he's God himself, speaking to his mother Devavati, and he says, Satam prasangam mama virya samvido. Satam prasangam, if you associate with devotees, mama virya, virya means very powerful. Ritkana krit is going to enter the heart. Ritkana, the ears. Ritkana krit rasayana kataha. It will act as a rasayan. Rasayan is like a Ayurvedic tonic. You are a little weak, you go to the doctor, he's going to tell you, take this Prash or whatever. Then Rasayan Kataha is going to tonify you. So Krishna Katha is like that. Rasayana Kataha. Tajoshanat Ajvapagavartmani, Apavagarvartmani is going to open the door towards liberation. Pavarga means bondage. Apavarga. Pa pa ba fa ma ma. There is, you're going to break free from this bondage, from mritu, from bhaya, from fear. Shraddha Bhakti Rati Anukramishati. In sequence, you're going to get Shraddha Bhakti Rati. Rati means rag, spontaneous devotion. Basically, Rati is the first glimmer of Prem. So the, everything, it's all encompassing. Everything is there in Sadhu Sangha. It's provided Sadhu Sangha Svatuvare, provided you associate with strong devotees. But even you associate with weak devotees, Krishna Katha, even there'll be benefit. Okay, so let's see what I've got here. And we are into 16. Let's see what I've got. We don't want to miss the nectar. So this is 17. No, 17 is huge. That's a very big verse. But let's see if I got anything for 16,
Okay.
because I don't want to miss anything. Let's see. Okay, no. So let's go to Vishwanath. Vishwanath may have something to say on 16. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. Basically, is adding fuel to what we just said. Udara means generously is going to fulfill the devotees' minds. Krishna Katha. So those qualities of the Lord are fixed for devotees in the present and future. So at that place of Krishna Katha, he will produce those qualities. The devotee himself will produce those qualities of Krishna. And it will become relishable. Machita Madgatapana. Okay, so now this is a very big verse. Let's see if I've got anything from, perhaps I forgot Jib Goswami here. Let's see what I've got. This is 7:16. What's going on here? Let me close down. Oh, there's something wrong here. It's funny, it disappeared. Okay, so I don't know what's going on. Yeah, something happened here. Anyway, let's move into 17 because it's such an important verse. Ayu harati vepumsam udyanastan shayanaso tasyarte yak kshanunit utamashlok vartaya.
Are you on 17? Oh,
Yeah,
how
go
did I-
ahead. 17.
Okay. I don't know how I got to 4. I should be on 3. Just 1 second. I got into a canto 2, and then I should be on 3. I don't know how I got into 4. And then 17. Okay, let me just read it here. Both by rising and setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone, except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of the all good personality of Godhead. Okay, here what I found in the notes was the sun, the rising and the setting of the sun, it decreases the duration of life. But they said if you are a devotee, then you have to, like, unless you are devoted to Krishna consciousness, right? Except one who utilizes the time in discussing the topics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they're talking like how to, like, they're talking a lot about the time here. Like the time is wasted without realizing identification of supreme spiritual values. And they're using the analogy here, like of gold too, like even a fraction of time is wasted cannot be compared to any amount of gold. So the time is so important. I think time. What is time in Sanskrit?
Here it says Kshanonita. Time is
Kshanunita.
kala, but in 17 it's called Kshanonita. It means proper utilization of the time.
Okay, yeah. So they said we have to utilize our time very diligently because it is very important. And human life is awarded to Jiva, so he can realize spiritual identity, and that is a permanent source of happiness. It provides the permanent source of happiness. We are seeking happiness in wrong places, in material atmosphere. Living entity is spiritual spark of complete whole. This is the complete spark is the analogy used here, right? Okay, and happiness is a spiritual activity. Lord is complete spirit whole. Name, form, quality, pastimes, entourage, everything is the same. We cannot distinguish anything from Krishna. His name and fame is all the same. One comes through above energies through proper devotional service. So proper devotional service is very important. The door to perfection is immediately open. You know what? I think this one was in the last chapter 2, the door o- is
Yeah,
open,
Moksha
right?
Dwala Mapavlitaha. It's a verse also in the fifth canto.
I know. And in Bhakti Shastri, this was one of the answers to one of the questions too.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the endeavor of devotional service are never baffled or failure. So, which it's in 242,
Yeah,
chapter
very good
40.
point. Very good. Nehabikram Nashatosti Pratyavayena Vidyate Svalpamapasya Damasya Trayate Mahatubhaya. It's 241, I believe. That you cannot lose out. Whichever advancements you have made is acquired. You cannot lose out.
Yes.
And it will free you from the most dangerous type of fear. So back to 17, see, it says harati.
Okay.
Harati means, here it says decreases, but Jiva Goswami says it forcibly destroys everything, makes it useless. When the sun in the morning, how do you say, he appears, and then at night he sets out.
Mhm.
Uh, everything is swallowed by the sun. Everything. Except, rite means except. Kshanonita. If you use your time, Krishna Kata. Uttama Shlok Vartaya. Uttam Shlok is the name of Krishna. So if you, Vartaya means Krishna Kata. Then you are not affected. You're going to die also. But that Krishna Kata is going to propel you closer to Krishna, closer to Krishna, closer to Krishna. Then you're going to be in the proximity of Krishna. And you are so much in the proximity of Krishna that when you die, finish. It's just, Prabhupada said it's like changing rooms. You are in that room, you move to a different room. He compares the death to that, a change of room. Can you imagine? So, yes, it's a very deep verse. Now, my question is, my homework question was about Dan.
Oh,
What does
yeah.
it say about Dan?
Okay. Question about how you done was charity, na?
Yeah,
Uh,
very
one
interesting.
second. Pious activity, charity, dan. Money given to suitable person is guaranteed a bank balance in the next life. Charity to Brahmana. So they're talking about charity. That is a biggest thing you can do. It is like your balance in your bank account, and they're saying who to give the charity to, the Brahmana. I did not understand about the half Brahmana. It says
Let's say he's not a paka brahmana. He's a bit brahmana, but he's a mixed caste, you know.
yeah,
He's not
and
so
then
paka.
okay, and then if you are giving it to the learned and fully qualified Brahmana, the return is 110,000 times bigger, and um, and to Veda Praga, one who has realized Vedas, the return is unlimited multiplications. Like you can get a lot of
Yeah, and at
probably.
the end of the day, you're gonna get so much return that you go back to God. Madam
Yeah,
Gadvana Puna Jamana Vidyate, you go back to God. This is the greatest boon, basically. You know, because you've been blessed by a devotee. A Vaishnav is automatically a Brahman. See, a Brahman is not necessarily a Vaishnav, but a real Vaishnav is necessarily a Brahman. So if you get blessed by a pure devotee, Lavamatra Sadhu Sange Savasidi Oy, even Lavamatra is not even a second, it's a fragment of a second. See? And Shonaka makes the same point in 118.13. Tulayama lavena pinasvagam na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kimutashishaha. He says, remember 118.13, Shonaka tells Sutta that we cannot quantify the value of one moment's association with a pure devotee. You cannot put a number. You cannot express the value in millions, trillions of dollars. No. You cannot put a tag, a price tag. Matyanam kimutashishaha. Those who want to go to Svagalok, they are bound to die. Shonaka is very heavy. Those who aspire to go to heavenly planets, these are boons meant for those who are going to die.
Okay.
Then he goes, you cannot value the moment association with a pure devotee. You cannot, sorry, not value, you cannot put a price. You cannot quantify it. It's not possible. So how can you stop the flow of time? That was another question.
Yeah, how can you stop the by devotional service? Like if you're
Yeah. Krishna Katha. Uttama Shlok Vartaya. Vartaya means Krishna Katha. You engage day and night in Krishna Katha, even though you may not be so powerful. But can you imagine if you die while listening to Krishna Katha? Do you think they're gonna ask you, oh, is he advanced? What is his level of advancement? No. You die because you die listening to Krishna Katha, you go back to God and finish. It's not a question, are you advanced? Are you not advanced? No. He heard Krishna Katha while dying, he goes back, full stop. This is as simple as that. So the more you indulge, you indulge, engross yourself in Krishna Katha, that's it. It's a shield. It's like a kavach, it's like an armor against time. Time cannot touch you. This is as powerful as this. You are shielded from time. Because Krishna is also, time is also Krishna. Kalosmi, Lokakshaya, Krit, Pravrido. Krishna says, I'm time, I destroy everything. Lokakshaya, Krit. All the lokas, the planets are destroyed to nil, like to powder. Everything is destroyed. Your computer, your house, the country, the planet is going to be destroyed. Everything. New York, Los Angeles, everything's going to go. Vancouver, Paris, it's all going to go. So, anyway, next question. Some devotees partake of Krishna Katha. So, why do they grow old? People could speculate. Well, what are you talking about? We still grow old? Shouldn't they be eternal? How come they grow old then?
okay. The second part, eternal, is right because they should be, they are eternal if they're doing the Krishna Katha. And to grow old, everybody grows old. That's no problem. But then if you grow old, but if you die, you are more closer to Krishna, right? You are propelled more to Krishna. So,
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
I'm not finding a thing that you'll not grow old. You'll still grow old in a better sense.
Yeah, because what happened is for a devotee, time is a helper. It's an aid. It's going to help you getting closer to Krishna. Just like remember when Dhruv Maharaj left to the spiritual world, to Vaikunt, death came. Can you imagine? Mrityu came. You know what did he do with Mrityu? Mrityu came. He was so advanced, he stepped on Mrityu's head as if you step on a staircase. And he said, thank you. And he stepped on her head and he embarked in the Viman. Mrityu was used as a step. He put his foot on Mrityu to embark on the Viman. This is the level of Dhruv Maharaj. Mrityu, he used it as a step to enter the Viman, to get on board. Just like you climb the flight of stairs and you enter the flight when you fly out. You go up the stairs and you enter the flight. Finish. He did the same. So Shonaka, this is Shonaka speaking here. He confirms, yes, Bhakti is the Abhideya. What is the meaning of Abhideya?
Abhideya.
Abhideya means the process. Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the Abhideya was shown to us by Rup Goswami, is Abhideya Acharya. But he's showing us Abhideya by negative expression. Because it says Aso. Aso means the sun. So the sun is going to take away your life because it every time you go to bed, Purna Chandra Mataji, -1, -1, -1. Every night, -1, -1, -1. So we could say, oh, it's very negative. But be careful. It is negative if you pass your time uselessly. Yes, it's negative. But if you pass your time in Krishna consciousness, then it's not useless. Your sun, the sun appears to destroy life. Yes, it's true. Rite. Rite means accept. Yakshanonita. Yakshanonita means if you utilize properly, then the sun doesn't destroy your life. Provided Uttama Shlok Vartaya. Vartaya means Krishna Katha. So if you do Uttama Shlok Vartaya, then the sun doesn't destroy your life. So you may grow old, yes, true, but everything becomes successful because you're getting closer, closer. And death, Krishna says about death, what does he say about death in Gita? Remember, 11th chapter? Mrityu savasahashaham, I am death. I'm time. Now he's saying, I am death. So death itself is Krishna. So in other words, Krishna is helping you closer to Krishna. Let's put it this way. So now, Jiv Goswami explained, just like a fruit is on a particular branch, you know, you may have some branch with no fruit. So he's giving a beautiful analogy. You have to pick up the branch who's got a fruit.
Hmm.
What does it mean? It means you have to, for a unique condition of success, you have to be attracted to that branch who's got a fruit. So you have to go to that branch where there is a nice fruit of Krishna Katha, spoken by someone competent. Sadhu Sangha Svatovare. Ideally, you should be associating with higher devotees. This is the point. So that was Jeev Goswami on this one.
Okay.
Now let's listen to more. Where are we here? 17. Okay.
17.
Yeah, let me get you more nectar. I'm a little lost. Oh, yeah, I'm way behind. Sorry. 17, 17, 17. Okay, let me find out 7. Okay, that's it. Yeah. So let's hear Jiv Goswami. He's one of the greatest also. We should never minimize Jiv Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So he's saying, this is not an activity which can be delayed. See? We cannot say, well, okay, Krishna Gata, I understand. Thank you, Prabhu. But, I'll do that a bit later. I'm quite busy now. No, this is Maya. It doesn't mean, okay, I understand. You cannot perhaps do it 24 hours a day. You got kids, you got your work, your career. But you better make sure you put in Krishna Kata every day. Because the sun doesn't wait for you. The sun, time waits for no one, and he
No.
won't wait for me. You know the Rolling Stones, they used to sing that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Time waits for no one, and he won't wait for me. The tides, the time and the tide will not wait for you. You cannot, you cannot match the time. The time is a destroyer. So This is the same old point, and we have to engage into Krishna Katha. Now, Vishwanath gives a beautiful example.
Mm.
He's saying the wealth of those of good characters is imperishable. See, in other words, we have heard from Queen Kunti, Jamais Jvaya Shuta Shribir, remember 1:8:26. Yes, if you're pious, you're going to get wealth. You're going to get Janma, Mrit, Janma, Eshvarya, Shruta, Shribir. Four things. But if this, if you have a good character, then that wealth of yours is very powerful. Practically, it's imperishable. Whereas others' wealth, if it has been acquired for pleasures, unlimited pleasures, is going to go anyway. So that's why we are discussing about Dan here. Uh, Someone who is intelligent, pious, he should give Dan, but not give Dan whimsically to any Tom, Dick, and Harry. You have to give Dan to the proper recipient.
Um,
But even Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, he used to say, he used to blast his disciples, his Grihastha disciples. Sometimes they were beggars in the street, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is walking down the road with some of his disciples, and he turned to them and said, "Why don't you give?" And then the Grihastha will say, "Oh, he's not so Krishna conscious, he's a beggar." Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, "No, this is your dharma as a Grihastha. You have to give. Give something." See, he would teach his disciples. We know, of course, as far as possible, we give food. You see a beggar, you give him prasad because you give him money, he may buy some wine. So ideally, just like Prabhupada explains, and Vishwanath also, Veda Paraga, you should give to someone who who has realized is a Siddhant, he has realized the Siddhant of the Vedas. And then it's unlimited return. So what's going to happen, Vishwanath explained here. If you carry on listening to Krishna Katha, you know what's going to happen?
mm,
First, you're going to be blessed with a long life, and then you become an associate of Krishna. Can you imagine? Who can get you this position? You become an associate of Krishna. Then your life is indestructible. That's what it means when it says you cannot take away your life. It doesn't mean, oh, I'm not going to grow old. No. It doesn't mean, oh, I'm not going to die. Yes, you're going to die, but you're going to die to become an associate of Krishna. So now my question is, and that was one of the homework question actually.
mm,
Uh, we could ask ourselves, why do we grow old? And Vishwanath explained very nicely. Devotees get old and even sick sometimes. You have seen they have COVID, they have cancer, they have heavy stuff. They have Parkinson. Today, I just went to see Jagannathan Prabhu. He's got Parkinson. He's proper disciple. The guy
mm,
is in bad shape. But Vishwanath says, it appears by the will of the Lord. And you know why? Because Krishna wants you to increase his longing for him. Full stop. Tatraloriam apimuliam ekalam. Loriam means ardent desire. Like it's like burning in you. Just like you are in love, it's ardent. You want to meet the beloved. So that longing should be there. That is why, and I've seen that devotee, Jagadanand, is finished. He's totally paralyzed. I mean, he can walk, he can even cook, I notice. But one lady has to come to wash the house, even cleaning. Can you imagine? He has to be cleaned by someone. He cannot clean himself properly. You know, she arranged the bed, she vacuums and stuff. So
But
is it
can't he
actually?
go to Prabhu? Can't he go to a old people home like
Ah,
Canada? Like
no, he doesn't want to be. He's quite Krishna conscious. He doesn't want to be taken care of by non-devotees. He's sick and tired of
oh, okay.
non-devotees. He's basically he's totally fed up with life to the max. He told me still today I went to see him. You know, he told me I've got I've got my dose. I'm finished. Life has been very heavy with him. His daughter is she's retarded.
Oh,
His wife died. His son is a non-devotee, doesn't give a damn. One time his son beaten him up. He has his
oh,
mother cut him loose. I mean, the guy is afflicted like hell by life. But why? To increase and I can see it. I come to him not every day, of course, but from time to time, he's increasing his longing to go back. He's fed up with life, big time. And so this is the point. Krishna has something in mind for him. Uh, because the Gyanis, the Gyanis, they think that karmas of this life can be destroyed only if you experience them. This is a foolish understanding. They are thinking only if I experience my karma, only then can I get rid of it. This is BS. It's not true. Uh, if you listen to Krishna Katha, and Krishna is going to protect the confidential nature of his Katha only for the devotees. This is not caused by time or karma. We have discussed about this when we discussed about Bhishma. For a devotee, let's put it this way, everything is orchestrated by Krishna. It's no more karma. It's no more Paramatma. Everything is more you are Krishna conscious, more everything is orchestrated by Krishna. Okay, that's a very powerful verse. Tarava kimna jivanti, bastra kimna svasantyuta, nakadanti na mehanti, kim grame pashavo pare. See, when you see kim in Sanskrit, it's a question mark, like what? So when you see Kim, it's going to be a question. What is it?
I said Kim is what, right?
Yeah. Well, it means like what, or whether, whether whether is like this or like that. It is indicative that it's going to be a question. When you see Kim in Sanskrit, it's going to be a shlok dealing with questions. Kim, it appears a lot here. Kim.
Okay. Do the trees not live? Do the bellows of the blacksmith not breathe? All around us do the beast not eat and discharge semen? So here, wow, this few of the verses will be like this.
Sorry?
I said few of the verses are like with these questions. Okay, and okay, so it discusses about eating, drinking, sexual intercourse, making merry, enjoyment of life. A man wants to live forever by advance of material science. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, for the devotees, it was like life is meant for tapasya, right? And
Yeah.
tapasya is sannyasas and brahmacharis. They do a lot of tapasya, purifying existence. So others may enter the eternal life just at the end of the human form of life. And so that was for devotees. And materialistic, to prolong life, because they don't know what is in next life. Like they don't know what is in next life, and they don't care about the prolonging their life. Nothing. They just care for today. They have to enjoy now, and there's no life death afterwards. Like that's what they believe. And the plan to solving problem of society, has brought uh, forth the troubles. So when they're doing something like the problems of society, it's always a trouble, right? Plan to live beyond 100 years does not follow. Um, yeah, people want to live 100 years too, so um, it does not happen like too often.
Yeah,
Um,
it's very rare, 100 years.
yeah, and the trees live for hundreds and thousands of years. And in Vrindavan, they said that Imali Tala, the trees have been there forever. Like these trees that live for hundreds and thousands of years. In
Mm.
Kolkata too, there's banyan tree that's 500 years old. And and then they compare with Shankaracharya, who lived only 32 years, and Lord Chaitanya, who lived only 48 years.
Yeah.
Does it mean prolonged life is better? Or we did this text somewhere, is prolonged life better? So if you are not uh, doing Krishna Katha or devotional service, then it's not worth at all. You
It's
have to
useless.
be
It's
spiritual.
useless.
Prolonged life without spiritual values is not important. Uh,
Exactly. So this is a very interesting verse. So Shonakai is, remember, Shonakai is speaking here. So what is he trying to do? He's trying to enthuse Shukdev to speak more. See, he has been speaking for a while, Shunaka, since 13. He's speaking all the way to 25. He's going to speak for a long time. Why? Just like a student, a very good student he takes over the discussion. He speaks, and he's going to make some very good points. Why?
mm,
Because he wants the guru to again go into a different batch of kata now. So this is the role of Shonaka. He's extremely eager to entertain the kata. He's a very good to preserve the kata, to keep it going, to keep the pace of the kata. Uttama shlok vartaya. Vartaya means kata, Krishna kata. So we know about animals, and they are trees, they live, but of course they don't breathe, that's true. But
mm,
look at the Sanskrit. Apare, this is the word.
yeah.
Apare. Name, apare means others, means
Mm.
us. Well, we are not so much into that, or hopefully. Apare means Nara, it's called Nara-pasuh, Dvipashu. What's the meaning of Dvipashu, Nara-pashu?
I don't know.
Pashu means
Pashu means animal.
animal. Nara means,
Any like any animal.
Nara means a man.
Oh,
I've got one friend, her name is Monet Naha. She's like 72 perhaps. And I told her name is great. Her name is Nara. And she's somewhat of a devotee. So Nara means man. So Nara-pashu, Dvi means two-legged animal. When we
oh,
say here in 18, apare, it means others, meaning humans. But they are no better. Na mehanti, look at the Sanskrit, na mehanti. Don't they enjoy sex? Because unfortunately for them, they're thinking this is the panacea of life. But actually, according to Shunaka, there are other animals. He says, okay, there is the trees, and then he's going to tell us in 19, you're going to see the dogs, the camels, the
yeah.
asses.
Yes.
But he goes, and others. So we are thinking, what do you mean others? Yes, animals, but human animals. He's very happy.
Okay.
Dvipashi, Dvipashu, Narapashu. So he's quite, if you ask me, he's quite cynical, very cynical. So we know, Damasya, Yapavargyasya, Natotaya Pakalpate, Natasya Damikantasya, Kamolabaya Hismritaha. We discussed way back, 1 to 9, that Sutta Goswami is saying, whatever you do, you should be doing it for ultimate liberation. Uh, And don't use it for material gain. This is the danger in Krishna consciousness. You may have facilities, you may have money, you may have so many facilities, but make sure you don't use it for material gain. In the early days, I was in Mayapur way before the temple was constructed. And there was a big leader, I don't want to mention his name, and he had access to the budget of the new temple. In those days, it was way, even before I mean, like 20 years ago. So there was already kind of a budget, they were kind of planning ahead. And the guy, he misused the money. They caught him red-handed. He had misused and misappropriately misappropriated some funds pertaining to the new temple.
Mm.
So you have to be very careful. Don't use anything of Krishna consciousness for material gain. And furthermore, don't use material gain from, let's say, assets in Krishna consciousness used for material gains. That's bad, and even worse for sense gratification. In other words, you use money from ISKCON for sense gratification. That's heavy. That's very heavy. Very, very heavy.
Mm.
So to go back to 18,
Okay.
this is basically, let's hear the acharyas, and it's a very powerful verse also. Shonaka is very expert in philosophy. So we have to basically, we should not swallow the words of the scientists. They always say, don't worry, we're going to increase duration of life. Apparently, there's so much intelligence, what do you call it, artificial intelligence. I'm listening so much, on they are trying to attract me in their conferences. Yes, you have to get ready. There's going to be the world will be taken over by artificial intelligence. It's going to revolutionize your life, everything. But my question is, does it people make more happy? Do they become more happy? Is there less suicide, less divorce? So, see, technology cannot make up for the shortcomings, the spiritual shortcomings. It doesn't work. So let's listen to the acharyas. Uh, so now there's a link. There's a link according to Guranga Darshan. Because we could ponder uh, sometimes people tax us. They tend to always tag the devotees. You guys are so heavy. You're always pummeling down on us because we're into sense gratification. It looks like you are the only one reproaching people to engage in sense gratification. But the whole world is glorifying sense gratification. What the hell are you talking about? So this is this section is meant to ascertain your understanding. Yes, yes, we know better. It doesn't mean because the whole world is going to hell that we should follow. So this is the point here. Now let's listen to the acharyas on this point. Let's see what I've got here. We are 18. So Jiv Goswami explained 18 and 19 criticize the materialistic people. Prabhupada oftentimes, even devotees, sometimes they find fault with Prabhupada. He's too heavy. Why is it too heavy like this? Did you notice in his car?
Yes.
Sometimes they're not saying out loud because you cannot criticize the Acharya. But look at, this is not ISKCON speaking here. This is Shonaka. 18 and 19 criticize the materialistic people, especially in regard to their lifespan. The bellows of the blacksmith breathers. But does it matter? It has no life. The trees
Yeah.
have no enjoyment from taste. Animals and humans eat, but unfortunately, if you are a Nara-pasuh, then you are unfortunately put in the same category as animals. Okay. So that's why we should be very careful not to make sure we maintain our dignity as a human and as a devotee also. Now, this verse is very heavy, the next one. It's quite often quoted by Srila Prabhupada. Shvavid varahostra kare samtusta purusha pashuhu. See, pashuhu, animal. Nayat karna patopito jatunam gadagrajaha. Go ahead.
Okay. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastime of Lord Krishna, the deliverer of evils. So here 19, yeah, 19 was a big verse with all these dogs, hogs, camels. Men
It's very
like
heavy, huh? Very
so
heavy.
there's the men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, asses, unless they are trained for higher stage of life. So they're still dogs, hogs, and everything until they've been trained. Um, and then those who have finished their university degrees, they got a doggish mentality, and they accept service of a greater master, with dogs. Dogs, they are with the dog master for bits of bread, right? And then men get a very less reward or no reward while working. So they're comparing that there. Um, and the hogs still eat their own stools. That's rubbish. And birds. Some of the birds they even eat stones too. So human being, they're given the grain, vegetable, fruit, milk, and sugar, etc., for our consumption. So we should not be eating meat at all, because for human teeth, we just have two canine teeth, so we cannot be chewing like animals.
Yeah.
And then 926 is about the human beings eating remnants of food stuff for Krishna, and then um, human beings, they recommend that human beings eat the remnants of the food offered to Krishna only.
Hmm.
Uh, Hogs don't have any discrimination of eating. Um, and camels, they eat the thorn and they bleed and they keep on eating. And that is a materialistic way of life. And the person who wants to enjoy the family life is compared to camel, because uh, and then the material life is like thorns too. So you take the thorn, eat it, and that's where you are. Um, because they're sucking their own blood, and they cannot control enjoyment of sex compared to human beings. They're just like camels, sucks their own blood after they are eating the thorn. Similarly, um, the business magnates and industrialists, they are same as camels too. They're all just interested in sex and women and stuff. And then asses are the greatest fool in animal kingdom. And the she asses even kicks them for the sex, and they still follow them. um, and then they talked about the hand-packed man is an ass. He works very hard for his family like an ass. And in Kali Yoga, not for sex, but for the household affairs too.
So are you going to tell all these things to your son-in-law? He's going to be mad.
I know, no, he's gonna be mad, but it's true. After hearing so many times, they'll get it right. So then, if the leader is not self-realized, he is animal uh, in human form. And then dogs, they're comparing dogs for educated people, like they finish the university degree and they go door to door looking for jobs. Um,
See, Prabhupada is so heavy. I mean,
yeah,
you have
the
to
whole
understand how heavy he is, you know. I mean, can you imagine you telling one guy he has a PhD, and
and you're a dog.
you're telling him you're a Polish dog, my dear friend. You're a big animal. You're not a small. Okay, okay, you're PhD. I mean, it's heavy stuff. Bhupendra
Yes,
Prabhu used to say, Prabhupada is not politically correct. What does it mean?
that means probably he compared people from India to what he wrote in the book, not for
No, no, he
everybody.
wrote this in 62. I mean, this is no, sorry. This is Canto 2. It must be a little later than 62 because already ISKCON was launched when he did the second canto. Sorry. So it must be late 60s, early 70s. But I mean, this is heavy stuff. Burijan Prabhu used to say he's not politically correct, Prabhupada. What does it mean?
Um, Probably the
Oh,
what he's
Renishta wants to answer. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear the answer.
Oh, okay, sorry. So do you have any clue, Purnachandra Mataji, why he's not politically correct?
I really don't know.
Burijan Prabhu used to say that a lot because politicians is very expert to extract the votes of the potential voters. So he's always going to say things on TV or in public rally to make sure he attracts. He's going to coo. How do you say could? He's going to coo with his word very soft and like to coax them. I think you say coax them into voting for me. Nice promises, nice smiles, nice suit, nice handshaking, and it's well manicured. Everything is paka, nice shirt, nice charisma. He knows how to speak, and he doesn't mean a thing of what he's saying. It, but the main intent of his speech is to attract the votes. So
Yeah.
Prabhupada is not like this, trying to make himself appreciated by the public. No, at all. It's totally, yes, I'm coming to you. It's totally blunt and shastric, and we have to understand his mood, his demeanor. We have to appreciate that and respect. Otherwise, some devotees will leave ISKCON because they will say, "No, I'm sorry, it's too heavy." Yes, Rinishta?
Today's politicians are crooked and corrupted, but I mean, in the past, who were the politicians who did the
Hmm.
they were following they were following the
Yes.
so I mean Prabhupada I would say Prabhupada is politically correct. It's just today we have crooked politicians, so for them, yeah, we can say that for these people, Prabhupada is not
Yeah. Of course, Buddhism meant he gave us the courses 20 years ago. So he meant today's politician, not days of yore. Yeah. Of course, we are on the same page. We meant today's politicians. We're not talking about Raja Rishis here of like Maharaj Parikshit or
but today's politicians, their politics is crooked.
exactly.
You this trick which is called Shastra. Politicians should study Niti Shastra.
Yeah,
This Shastra doesn't tell politician to live like crookedly.
exactly.
Very like Narendra Modi is trying to show to live a saintly life and to trying to be a saintly politician.
Yeah, and Nanad is a Brahmina, is not a Kshatriya. The Kshatriya politician, but I got your point. Definitely, Burijan meant today's politicians. Prabhupada is not eager to follow them. He's not crooked as them to attract the public or to attract devotees just for. He's going to how do you say, coup them. You're going to coax them by flowery words. No, Prabhupada was extremely, how do you say, traditional. He came with high pointed shoes. He didn't try to bend down to attract more followers like Dr. Ramakrishna in New York, you know. He remained traditional.
Prabhupada he wanted to awaken people's consciousness.
Hmm.
So that I mean, whatever his demeanor was, and his objective was to awaken people's consciousness.
Exactly.
But if these other people, they don't, they want to, I mean, they not only want to make these people unconscious, but they want to contaminate their
To
consciousness.
exploit them. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, we're on the same page. So let's uh, let's see what we got here. I think we are on the same page. Everything is clear. This is 19. Let me see what I've got. Uh, so actually, Buddhism Prabhu man, he shared with us a story that happened in Hawaii, in University of Hawaii. There was one guy, he told Srila Prabhupada, I don't mind becoming a dog. So Prabhupada told him, you have my blessings. It's so heavy. Sorry? Big time. Yeah, so, and Buddhism Prabhu used to tell us so many stories, I remember. He says in Burma, you know, which is next door to India, there's horrible smell of ghee because they eat dead animals. We discussed dogs, hogs, camels, asses. They eat dead animals, and you know what they do? They put them in a barrel for 1 year, and then they drink.
No way.
So this is Burma. And on TV, Buddhism probably they used to show how to cook rats. So you can see where the world is going. Right? The world is going to hell.
Yeah.
Buddhism, what's his name? Dinabandhu Prabhu used to tell us a beautiful story regarding the asses. You know, the ass is an animal that carries heavy loads of laundry in India. Mostly they are used to carry laundry. So this is how foolish, this story explains the foolishness of an ass, a donkey. So when he walks along, he tags along, he trots along, he's got a heavy dose of laundry on the back, and he looks at the grass. Let's say it is the dry season in India. So he looks at the grass, there's hardly any grass because it's dry land. So he has to walk a lot to find patches of grass to eat because there's not
Correct.
much grass, it's all dried up. And when he looks back, since he walks so much to eat, he's thinking to himself, oh, I walked a lot, so I must have eaten a lot. And then when it's rainy season, he's thinking, he walks, he doesn't walk much because there's grass everywhere. So he's turning back his head and say, oh, I didn't walk much, so I didn't eat much. So that explains the foolishness of an ass. You thought this is a story from Din Bandhu Prabhu. He's considering he's eating according to the number of steps he has walked. He cannot even figure it out. My belly is full and I'm happy. It doesn't matter how many walks, how many steps I took. So let's see what I've got here. Yeah, so Vishwanath goes, as usual, is very subtle person. We know it has been condemned. Animalistic life is condemned. This we got the point. But he goes further. He goes further. He says, he or she, as one person, accepts the qualities of you know what he does? He creates a conversation between the humans and the animals. Vishwanath loves doing that. He's going to create conversations to make us understand. So the animals are speaking and they say, oh, one person, one human accepted the qualities of us. We are animals. We cannot, as animals, take up the qualities of another animal. You don't see a sheep, a lamb acting like a lion. It's not possible. Each animal sticks to his svabhav. So the animals are wandering amongst themselves. We are incapable of taking another animal's qualities. But look at those humans. They can take up so many qualities of so many animals. And we animals, we cannot take up even one quality of another species. So this is the foolishness of human. Even the animals would not do that. You don't see an animal pretending to act like another animal. See, they are more intelligent than us. They stick to their svabhav. They stick to their species. Like you have seen dogs and 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 lions and even dogs. Dogs are very easy. You can easily see that in dogs. Even the she dog, she's in heat once a year, and of course she needs a male at that time. But then the story is over for another year. You follow? Whereas humans, they stoop down further, lower than the she dog. So Vishwanath is making the point that even the animals are struck with wonder with humans because they stoop down even lower than them. So the animals are saying they accept our qualities with passion. We are following our qualities by destiny because let's say I'm a I'm a pig. I have to follow my karma as a destiny. But the humans are worse than us because they accept our qualities, our animalistic qualities, by passion, with passion. You follow the point of Vishwanath? He's trying to make us understand that animals, the animalistic humans are worse than regular animals. And Vishwanath goes further. This is a very deep psychological analysis. He's saying the animals are speaking to the humans now. They are aware. Those humans must be aware of the hell which is awaiting them because they follow our nature. We are animals. We are dull-witted. We cannot understand anything of the future. But they do. They know fully well they're going to go to hell, but still they do. See, this is how Vishwanath tried to hammer the point home that we are worse. If we end up into an animalistic type of living, we are worse than animals. We're not only animals, we are worse. And this is the nature. As soon as the soul enters a particular type of body, he acts by forcefully he has to act. He has to start barking. As soon as you enter the psyche, the svabhav of an animal, let's say a dog, you cannot help it. You have to bark because you are totally bound up by nature. See, this is the 1322. Krishna says, Prakriti Purusha Steva Vijanadi Ubhavapi Vikarams. No, not this one, sorry. What is 1322? Purusha, forgetting that verse. It says, we are Prakriti, but we want to enjoy, so Krishna calls us Purush. Prakriti means Svamadhishtaya. How does it go? I'm forgetting the Sanskrit.
Prakriti Purusham Chaiva.
Yeah, Prakritim Purusham Jeva Vijanadi Ubhavapi Vikaramba. No, it's not this one.
Yeah, it is 1320. Vikram
1322, Mataji. 1322 is a difference. I was quoting 1320, but I want 1322.
Purusha practice the
Purusha Prakritisto hi bhungte Prakriti Jangunam Karanam Guna Sangosya Sadasa Yoni Janmasu. Exactly. So we are Prakriti, but we want to enjoy as Purush. And then because we contact the modes, we are forced to enter Sat Asat Yoni. Yoni means womb. Good womb, bad wombs. Good womb, bad wombs. Sad Asat Yoni. You cannot help it. You have to bark like a dog. You become a lion, you have to, how do you say, roar. And you have to gorge yourself with meat. Whereas you are spirit soul. So this is the point of Vishwanath. We are, if we fall down to animalistic level, we are worse than animals. Because we should know better. And Gadagraj, look at the Sanskrit, Gadagraj in 19. What's the meaning of Gadagraj, you know? Gada means sick, sickness. It's the name of Krishna. Gada means sickness, evil. So it means he appears in front of the candidate as sickness, as if he was the enemy. Why does he do that, Krishna? He appears in front of you as sickness, as if he wants you bad, he wants you to suffer. But actually, this is out of kindness. He will appear and destroy the sickness of anger and other bad qualities of the animalistic man. This is the point of Vishwanath. Krishna is making them suffer out of love, actually. And now if you come along, you give a little prasad to the dog, then he's going to jump many lifetimes and become a devotee in his next life. Anyway, this is what I wanted to say. We started late today. Should we carry on? It's up to you. I don't want.
I think let's finish today, and then next time we can do.
Okay.
Because he's on WhatsApp too, right?
Yeah, she's struggling today. So Arinishta, we'll stop here. Do you have anything to say? It's been very late for you, I guess. So take care, and we hope to see you next time. Today is what? Today is Friday, Wednesday. So we'll meet on Sunday. Okay?
Sure. Yeah, thank you.
Sleep tight and have a nice day. For you, it's beginning of the day.
Okay. Yeah, it's only 10 o'clock here.
It's 10 o'clock. Yeah, this is amazing planet. We are different jet lag, different.
Okay.
Yeah. Time is relative. You can see, time is very relative. But doesn't matter when we speak Krishna Gata, it's all absolute, actually. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.